in the hell? What is it doing? What the heck? Yo, is this thing? Oh, hell no, Chief. I can't do this. Aw, shit. Look what we got here. As you can see here, we have some of my original Joy-Cons that I've had for the better half of 2.5 years. I decided to give them a little bit of extra customization from the clear shells, as you can tell. I have the translucent blue effect going on, which I thought was a pretty nice touch to it. Over the past 2.5 years or so that I've had them, they've served me pretty well, but I have been noticing that over long extended periods of gameplay time, my hands tend to get a little cramped since I do have medium to large size hands. When pressing these tiny buttons can get a little bit cumbersome from time to time. Don't even get me started on the dreaded Joy-Con stick drift, which has been a thorn in a lot of Switch players' hands since this thing has been out, which is probably the reason why you're watching this video now. Chances are, if you already had your Switch longer than 6 months and use it on a daily basis, or even just have a lot of playtime out of it, you probably already experienced some of the drifting issues. Another issue I have with these Joy-Cons, which I've mentioned before, are the incredibly small face buttons on both the right and the left Joy-Cons. Now, I'm not sure if anybody else besides me has had this issue, so definitely comment below if you have had this type of thing happen to you. But I sometimes find myself hitting 2, 3, if not all the buttons accidentally, depending on whichever game I'm playing, which can be quite frustrating, and with the lack of a traditional D-pad, which doesn't make things any better. Now, as you can see in the video, I'm playing Mega Man X6 from the X Legacy Collection, and from my experience, playing with these specific Joy-Cons, they don't give me the particular level of comfort and control that I would normally find from something like the Switch Pro Controller, for example. But today, we're going to be changing all that. Here, we have ourselves some of the finest Joy-Cons that I believe that you can buy for your Nintendo Switch. Binbok is a Chinese tech company based solely out of Hong Kong that primarily specializes in gaming peripherals, from Switch Pro controllers, charging dock for the PS5 controllers, and mobile grip gaming cases for mobile gaming. But for now, we're just going to focus solely on their more popular brand, which is the Joy-Con set for the Nintendo Switch. Right off the bat, you'll see that they come in this simple yet sleek white box with red trimming at the top. The box contents include a manual, QR code for product registration, and 2 USB-C type cables for software update in the future if applicable. The Joy-Cons included already come attached to the holding grip you can use for more of a pro controller experience while playing on your TV or in tabletop mode. My initial first thoughts after holding these were that I was truly blown away, especially by how much more comfortable they felt compared to the original Joy-Cons. They fit firmly and perfectly in my hands and are surprisingly light with the full functionality of a Pro Controller while you have it in handheld mode. For comparison's sake, I want to show just how much more massive these are compared to the original set. It contains all the features of the original Joy-Cons with the split 2-player controller functionality for if you have a friend or family member who wants to play. You'll notice on the back 2 paddle buttons you can use for button mapping for a variety of custom gameplay options. Want to use jump while keeping your thumb placed firmly on the right analog stick? You can do that. Or switching your attack functions in Monster Hunter Rise to have a more swifter movement, you can do that too. They also include turbo button functions for those die-hard fighting fans who want to get their 2-button rapid press fix. When attached, you can clearly see there's a size difference. The Binbok definitely sticks out a lot more, and you definitely won't be able to be putting these things in your pocket. Not that you could do so with the original Joy-Cons, but these make it a lot more noticeable. The back also includes a nice texturized finish for better grip. Overall, it has a nice and pleasing look to them. Aesthetically, they look very similar to what an Xbox One controller would look like, but split in half and attached on each end. The buttons are nice and big, but also can be a bit on the mushy side, but strangely enough, they do have a satisfying press to them. The left and right analog sticks feel good as well, but I did notice there was a bit of a dead zone space between moving them when calibrating. It's not as bad as some of the other third-party controllers that I've used before, but it is pretty noticeable when you're trying to play games that require more accuracy, like first-person shooters. The D-pad is something a lot of people tend to have the biggest issues with when it comes to third-party controllers. I have heard of people taking these apart to find stickers on each point of direction, but when removed, they give the D-pad a much better pivot motion and feels a lot more responsive. So that may be something you'll want to keep in mind before purchasing a set of these. Another nifty little feature that these Joy-Cons do offer that I didn't see offered from any other set of Joy-Cons is that on the bottom you'll see these flat lines that you can easily use to prop up on any flat surface to alleviate you from needing the kickstand. The biggest feature that catches the eye of any potential buyer for these would definitely be the RGB lighting. You could definitely see why the RGB lighting aspect would be the most visibly appealing point for those people who are looking to make their Switch stand out more from its contemporaries. They range from 3 distinct color effects. By holding down the T button on the back and pressing the corresponding analog stick on the right or left controller, you can cycle through a solid color, or by holding down the stick you will either turn them off completely, switch to a rainbow effect that pulsates in between, or by double pressing the stick, you can make it so that it cycles through all the colors through a slow breathing effect. When attached to the Switch, you still have plenty of space to place it with inside the dock. Now you will have some extra thickness protruding out from the back of the system due to the overall size of the Joy-Cons, but that won't hinder you from placing it inside of your dock. I did notice that when in dock mode, the lights will randomly turn on and off, even when the system wasn't in use. At one point I thought maybe mine had a defect. I'm not sure exactly what causes this, but I haven't noticed any issues that when it does happen. And yes, I have tested that these do wake the Switch up from sleep mode. The only caveat to that is, the controllers have to be powered on completely first. By pressing the share and power buttons to activate them, you would then press and hold the power button to wake the Switch up. Now that I give you my positive and negative points, I can definitely say the biggest detriment to this controller would be the D-pad, lack of an NFC reader for amiibo support, and the slight dead zone issue I experienced when I was using the controller calibration for the sticks. This controller feels amazing. It's comfortable, sleek, compact, and affordable at only $49.99 on Amazon, and a great alternative for Nintendo Joy-Cons. In the future, I would definitely like to see an updated version of these. Better improved face buttons, complete sync compatibility to wake the Switch up with the press of a button, and a better D-pad, which I'm not entirely sure is such a hard thing to do. I would also like to have improved dead zones for stick accuracy as well. I'm going to give the Binbok Joy-Cons from Amazon a 4 out of 5 with my very own mega seal of approval. With the Switch OLED model on the way, I would definitely recommend you grabbing a pair of these. You can't go wrong with it. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, if you don't like the color black, they also come in neon red and blue, and the Animal Crossing limited edition skin as well. So, take your pick. Links for the review product will be down in the description below. If you found this video informative, please drop a like and comment down below and let me know how I did, and definitely consider dropping a sub. I truly appreciate that. MegaZX456, fighting for everlasting peace, signing out. Take care, everybody.